Hello, wrestling fans. Blake Smith from Walking the Ropes, and welcome to another episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review for AEW Blood and Guts from Detroit, Michigan. To open the show, we had Orange Cassidy taking on Ethan Page. Ethan looks to stop the momentum of Orange Cassidy as he's been really impressive, and he was on a roll in his match against Ospreay, coming so very close to winning. Orange has his old indie theme tonight, and he comes to the ring. He's looking ready than ever. He has best friends with him, which it's nice to see Chuck Taylor back. Um, Dan Lambert ensures that it's going to be Michigan rules followed, and unless the best friends can show a manager card, they have to leave. Orange and Page move quickly and fly to the outside already. Page seems to just be trying to use his size advantage against Cassidy. Orange, though, can take a beating and come out on top. We have seen that so much before. Page is just beating down Orange and taunting the crowd. Page won't let up on Orange, staying right on top of him and trying to go for Ego's edge, but Orange slips out of it, and Dan causes the distraction, allowing Page to almost pick up the win once again. But Orange springs to life with an explosive DDT. He deals with Dan Lambert after he hits Orange Punch. He then spits orange juice into Dan Lambert's face, and he gets the win, pinning Ethan Page. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. I think it was fantastic. For the standout performer, I gave it to Orange Cassidy. He really did impress in that match. Ethan Page did fantastic as well, but there was something about Orange Cassidy in that match. We then get Christian Cage live. He comes out to the stage, and he's not dressed for the match that he's requested. He comes out and starts to talk about how he was told to apologize for what he said to Jungle Boy's family last week, and he says that he's sorry that they're not all dead so that he didn't have to make them watch that. Of course, he's not talking about his mother, though, as he tells her to call him. He then says that he requested a match, but it's not for him. The lights go out and fire shoots from the stage, and Luchasaurus appears from the heel tunnel. He's in all black, and he looks ready to destroy Serpentico. Luchasaurus just tosses him around and then locks in a modified snare trap that turns into a nerve hold for the win. After the match, Luchasaurus is told to chokeslam Serpentico, and he does. I'm really liking this. We are definitely doing a push for Luchasaurus, and I cannot wait. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. And the stand-up performer goes to Christian Cage. The guy is able to get heat from a crowd really easily, and he doesn't have to do the generic things. Yeah, he is doing the dead family and whatever, but he's not doing it in a bad way. Like, it's very clever what he's doing. Scorpio Sky and Wardlow talk backstage, and they have agreed to a no contact rule for tonight. Sky says Wardlow is feeling good right now, but he will not be so lucky this time. And Wardlow says that next time doesn't matter. He will walk out as TNT champion. Sky says if he is so tough, how about next week TNT title in a street fight? I cannot wait. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. I'm so looking forward to that. We then get the Ass Boys and Max Caster taking on Danhausen and two partners of his choosing. They're annoyed that Danhausen has been causing a distraction. He then comes out of the ring and he says he's found some pretty good tag partners, and FTR's music hits. I'd say he selected some pretty good partners. The Guns and Caster looked confident until FTR came out. And it's clear FTR comes in and takes full control of the match. Danhausen and FTR double team Austin Gunn, and Colton comes in and starts to control Danhausen a little bit. They start to beat him down and toy with him as they tag in and out, and Caster is wearing down Danhausen as he starts to come back for a moment. He tosses Caster, but he can't make the tag, and he uses his speed to finally tag in Dax. FTR comes in and they take out the Guns with suplexes, and Danhausen comes in and goes to put him to sleep, but Bowens comes out. He comes into the ring out of his chair with a crutch. He gets cursed by Danhausen and he smashes Austin instead, and Danhausen gets the pin. After the match, the Ass Boys and the Acclaimed argue, and Daddy Ass shoves his own sons out of the way, seeming to side with the Acclaimed. I've been calling it since day one. This team is not a team. It is to put Austin and Colton Gunn on their own and put Billy Gunn with the Acclaimed, and I cannot wait. My WTR scale, I gave that a great, and my standout performer goes to Danhausen. He took an absolute beating in that match and still was able to pick up the win. Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, and Jay Lethal talk about talk about Death Before Dishonor, and they say that Joe has been ducking Jay. He wants his TV title match and says if Joe will not defend, he should just give the title to Jay. He is the longest reigning World Television Champion in history, after all. Satnam Singh says Jay is going to kill Joe. For my WTR scale, I gave that a good. We then get the open challenge for the TBS Championship. Jade Cargill defending against Layla Gray. Jade is down a baddie tonight as she goes to defend her title once again. Layla Gray looks like she is ready to take it to Jade, but she is quickly tossed off and then slammed into the mat. Jade then taunts the crowd and Layla tries to take advantage, but Jade turns and hits the pump kick and then Jaded for the win. Jade then grabs the mic and tells Stokely that she wants a real challenge, not some random person. Stokely then tells Chris and Athena they aren't overlooked, they are just lazy. They run the ring and they go to take out Jade, but Layla Gray, who was grabbed by Hathaway and he was kind of talking to her as all this happened, shoves Athena off the top rope and helps the baddies take out Chris and Athena. For my WTR scale, I gave that a good. My stand-up performer of the night goes to Layla Gray. I have no idea who she is, but that was impressive. And I mean, we clearly are going to be keeping Jade around for a little bit. So if she needs another girl, then she needs to have another girl. The Young Bucks talk about how they are the only healthy members of the Undisputed Elite. Nick says that all their friends are gone, and Matt says that there's still one, and I'm trying to figure out who he's talking about. He might be talking about Hangman, but that doesn't seem accurate. They move on and talk about how they are the first two-time tag team champions in AEW. They say the Forbidden Door is still open a little, and they challenge Yoshihashi and Goto to a match, and if they can win, they get a tag title match themselves, and that match will be on Rampage to decide if there will actually be a tag match. For my WTR scale, I gave that a great. I don't know why we're not just doing the title match, but it's fine. We then get the Blood and Guts. It is the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Jericho Appreciation Society. They accepted William Regal's challenge for this match 4 weeks ago on Dynamite and will open with the one-man advantage after a win over Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Shota Umino at Forbidden Door. The Anarchy in the Arena win over Blackpool Combat Club, Santana, and Ortiz and Kingston at Double or Nothing gives them a little bit of an advantage in this style of match as well. Jon Moxley beat Hiroshi Tanahashi for the AEW World Interim Championship. So the Interim AEW World Championship, don't know why I said it like that, at Forbidden Door. And Claudio Castagnoli made his debut and has been on fire. Ortiz is seeking revenge for losing his hair, and Jericho and Kingston just hate each other. This is going to be amazing. Sammy Guevara and Claudio Castagnoli start out, and they don't waste a second, hitting the gas and just starting the chaos. Claudio takes control and tosses Sammy around the ring, and Sammy tries to kill time by springing around and then going to kiss Ty when he gets moves in. Daniel Garcia comes in, and the JAS start to beat down Claudio. Claudio, though, tries to fight both men and does a pretty good job at it until Wheeler Yuta comes in and evens the odds. Yuta comes in and starts tossing the JAS around with Germans. Yuta and Claudio wear down Sammy and Garcia, and then Jake Hager enters, and he just clears house. They overpower Claudio and Yuta, and the JAS is just picking its spots now. They have to deal with the interim AEW World Champion, who introduces a chair, and it is complete carnage. The Blackpool Combat Club has laid everyone out when Cool Hand Angelo Parker comes in, and he just gets dominated by the BCC. Ortiz comes in and keeps the pressure on as he targets anyone in sight, and Moxley grabs some shards of glass and pile drives Parker into it. Matt Menard comes in, and the JAS seems to be in control as more weapons are introduced. Santana comes in, and he goes to slam Garcia, and when he does this, you can see his leg give out from underneath him. It's either his knee, his ankle, or his whole leg itself. And he is out for the rest of the match. Jericho comes in, and we are almost to the actual start of this match, because obviously Blood and Guts is all the members of the teams have to be in the ring for the match to start. And we finally get Eddie coming in. He swats off all the members of JAS with his kendo stick, and the match officially starts. Everyone is in the ring now, and it is next to impossible to know what is going on. Eddie introduces rubbing alcohol, and I can only assume he's planning on setting someone on fire. Jericho stops this, and Kingston is enjoying everything, and Moxley is teaching Yuta the ways of hardcore as they pour tacks out onto the mat and toss Matt Menard. Yuta hangs Angelo on the scaffolding as he's trying to run and like slither his way through it. The one ring has padding pulled off, and Kingston gets slammed as Moxley gets rubbing alcohol in the eyes and then tacks to the face. Jericho and Moxley are the only two standing, and Jericho drags Moxley through the tacks before locking in the walls. Kingston comes in and stops him, and him and Jericho brawl, and then Ty unlocks the door, allowing for it to be opened, and Jericho tries to run. Ruby chases off Ty as Jericho and Kingston climb up to the top. They brawl on the top and are joined by Sammy Guevara, who is quickly dispatched off the top by Kingston and sending him through the timekeeper's table off the top of the cage. Jericho and Kingston brawl some more on the top, and they are joined by Angelo and Claudio. Kingston locks in the stretch plum and Jericho are on Jericho, and Claudio locks in a sharpshooter on Angelo, and just when it looked like Jericho was going to tap out once again, Angelo taps out and the Blackpool Combat Club wins. Eddie Kingston looked a little annoyed he didn't get to submit Jericho once again, but he quickly gets over it and he just kind of celebrates with his team. I imagine we're going to get a little bit of a, hey, I should have been the one, we should have made Jericho tap and whatever. It doesn't really matter. My WTR scale, I gave that an epic. It was fucking amazing. They killed it. My stand-up performer goes to Eddie Kingston. There was a moment where when he's up on top of the cage and you can see him after they're celebrating, he looks at somebody and says, I can't get up, my back's fucked. You can see when it happens, he gets dropped onto the wood. From that point on, for about 15 minutes, Eddie Kingston's probably wrestling with little to no feeling or a lot of pain in his back. And that was just impressive. Eddie Kingston is a beast. But that is all for my overall of the show. I gave it a great, oh my god, I would have killed to have been live at the show, and it would have just been amazing. The segment of the night goes to Sky and Wardlow setting up their title match. I believe that's on Rampage. The match of the night goes to Blood and Guts. Sky and Wardlow is next week. Blood and Guts, fantastic match. Performer of the night goes to Eddie Kingston. He absolutely killed it, and I am so impressed. But that is all for this episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review. Thank you all for dropping in. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload a video. And I will see you in the next one.